All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 10.7. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 10.7, factoring special products. It just makes factoring quicker if we use these special products. If we've got a number squared minus a number squared, we know it looks like a minus b times a plus b. If we've got a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, we know it's a plus b squared. If we've got a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, we've got a minus b squared. These should look really familiar. We use them when we use special products to FOIL. Now we're just doing the opposite. Okay, our first problem is y squared minus 16. So which does this look like? Does it look like the difference of two squares or perfect trinomial patterns? Does it look like the first, second, or third one? The first one, right? What's the square root of y squared? Anybody? Y? What's the square root of 16? Square root of 16. All I'm doing, I've got what a and b equal. All I'm doing is filling it in now. Done. Let's try another one. What is the square root of 25m squared? Nobody knows what the square root of 25 is. I don't really believe that. What is it? 5. So we've got 5m. And b would be, what's the square root of 36? 6. Come on, guys. Okay, now it's just like that pattern. It is 5m minus 6 times 5m plus 6. Okay, let's do the next one. Terrence, what is the square root of x squared? What times what gives you x squared? Melissa? What times what gives you x squared? X, the only thing. Okay, Terrence, what's the square root of 49? 7. So we get 7y. And then we just fill it in, right? X minus 7y, x plus 7y. We're done. It makes factoring much quicker. There's a little trick for this next one, and it is similar to some of the ones in your homework. We've got 8 minus 18n. Well, none of those are a perfect square. So the first thing I'm going to do is think of the biggest number that I can pull out of both 8 and 18. Michael, what's the biggest number you can pull out of that is divisible evenly by both 8 and 18? Give me your best guess. 6 doesn't go to 8 evenly. What about 4 doesn't go into 18 evenly, so it would be 2. So we get 2 times 4 is 8 minus 9n squared. Okay. So, Hyun, what's the square root of 4? 2. So that's my A. Justin, what's the square root of 9? 3. So you get 3n is your b. So it's 2 on the outside, and then we get 2 minus 3n times 2 plus 3n. Any questions about this? We doing okay?
Do you guys know why she's labeling them A and B?
Because the A and B at the top. So you know which one goes where? Alright. Jalen, what is the square root of 9q squared? Square root of 9. 3. So A is going to be 3q. Shelby, what's the square root of 64? That's divided by 2. What times what equals 64? 8. Then we just have 3q plus 8 times 3 q minus a. So that is all factoring using the difference of two squares. Now we're going to talk about factoring perfect square trinomials. So we're going to look at pattern 2 and 3 under the vocabulary. We've got n squared minus 12n plus 36. Christian, which one, if you flipped your paper over and looked on the front, which one does it look like? The first, the second, or the third? The third, because it's got that negative, right? Okay. Aaron, what is the square root of n? What's the square root of n squared? It's the n. And Elena, what's the square root of 36? What times what gives us 6? Thank you. Okay, so now it's just n minus 6 squared. And you're done. Tabitha, I'm coming to you next, just so you know. Okay, Tabitha, which one does this look like on the front? The first, the second, or the third? Third. Okay. Taylor, what's the square root of 9x squared? 3x, good. Joel, what's the square root of 4? 2. So you get 3x minus 2, the whole thing, squared. You're done. Aaron, can you sit up, please? Cheyenne, if we're looking at 4s squared plus 4st t squared, does that look like the first, second, or third on the front? Now, what does this one have that the third one has? What's this sign right here? This is a plus. That's why it's the second one. Okay? So be careful when you're looking at those. Make sure it's the right one. All right, Yusuf, what's the square root of 4s squared? 2s. CJ, what's the square root of t squared? What times what gives us t squared? T, thank you. So we get 2s plus t squared, and I'm finished. Now we're just going to look at some more difficult ones. Same things, though. Alright. Amashe, do you remember what I said? What do you do if you have a negative in front of a trinomial like this? What do you do with it? You gotta, we call it factoring it out, and then you switch all the signs. In this case, I'm going to take a negative 3 out of it. And then I get y squared minus 3 goes into 36 12 times, plus, because I'm changing the signs, 3 goes into 108, what, 16 times? 16 times? Okay, so what is the square root of y squared, Ty? What times what gives us y squared? Y. Okay. Bruce, what times what gives us 16? Perfect. So I put the negative 3 in front, and then I have y minus 4 squared. So do you see how if they weren't perfect squares, I factor out a number first? Okay. Let's try another one. Ian, what is the square root of y squared? Y. Okay, what's the square root of 81? 9. Okay. Haley, what would I write now? What do I do? Which one does it look like on the front? The first, the second, or the third? The third is the negative. So I've got my A and B. So what do? I write A, then what? Is it a plus or a minus? No, the other side of it. You're seeing, no, go back. You see A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. What does it say on the other side? It says A minus B. So it's AY minus 9 squared. And that's all you're doing. Once you have A and B, you plug it in to the stuff on the second, on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Okay, the last one looks difficult because it's fractions, but it's really not. Brett, what is the square root of x squared? X. Aaron, what is the square root of 9?
No.
Aaron Johnson? What times what gives us 9? Somebody want to help Aaron out? What times what gives 2 times 2 gives us 4? 3.
What's wrong?
Okay, so if 3 times 3 gives us 9, what times what would give us 1/9? 1/3. So we just have x plus 1/3, the whole thing squared, equals 0. So we get x plus 1/3 equals 0. So we get x equals negative 1/3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should get out your writing